I was going to show her what revenge really felt like. The night before the court hearing, I sat alone in the empty living room of our once warm home. The lights were dim, casting long, eerie shadows on the walls, shadows that felt like the ghosts of the 7 years I'd wasted with Emma. On the coffee table, the paternity test results lay face up, the words exclusion of paternity printed in bold, black letters, burning into my retinas. Lucas wasn't my son. 7 years of raising a child who wasn't mine, 7 years of trusting a woman who'd been lying to me from the start, 7 years of blind devotion to a family that had turned against me the moment Emma pulled her strings. Anger bubbled in my chest, hot and toxic, but I forced it down. I needed to be calm tomorrow. Cool, collected, unbreakable. Emma had spent weeks painting me as the villain, as the heartless CEO who'd abandoned his perfect wife over a sprig of cilantro. Tomorrow, I'd strip away her mask and show the world the truth, the cold, ugly truth about the woman they'd all been defending. I picked up my phone and scrolled through the endless notifications, angry emails from former clients threatening to terminate contracts, hateful texts from distant relatives calling me a monster, even messages from my own employees questioning my integrity. Emma had done her job well. She'd weaponized my family, my reputation, my company against me. But she'd made one fatal mistake. She'd underestimated me. She thought I'd crumble under the pressure, that I'd beg for her forgiveness, that I'd agree to her demands of $10 million and full custody of Lucas. She thought the cilantro, the cigarettes, the condom, those little clues she'd carelessly left in my lunchbox, would be dismissed as a mistake, as a moment of carelessness. She thought I was just another naive man who'd fallen for her innocent act. But she was wrong. Those clues hadn't been mistakes. They'd been breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs leading me to the truth I'd been blind to for years. I closed my eyes and thought back to that fateful noon in the office. When I'd opened my lunchbox and seen the cigarettes, the condom, the cilantro, 3 things that had no place in my life, 3 things Emma knew would trigger me. At first, I'd been confused, then terrified, then enraged. But as I'd sat there, staring at the contents of that lunchbox, a small voice in the back of my head had whispered that this wasn't an accident. Emma was too meticulous, too calculated, to make a mistake like adding cilantro to my salad. She'd known about my allergy since our first date, for God's sake. And the cigarettes? I'd never touched a cigarette in my life. She'd bought a pack of my father's favorite brand, as if taunting me, as if daring me to question her. And the condom, we hadn't used condoms in years, not since Lucas was born. Why would she put one in my lunchbox? Was it a message, a threat, a confession? I'd spent hours turning those questions over in my head, and eventually, the pieces had started to fit together. Emma was hiding something. Something big. And the lunchbox had been her way of letting me know either that, or she'd been trying to push me away, to make me divorce her first, so she could play the victim and walk away with everything. The next morning, I arrived at the courthouse early. The steps were crowded with reporters, their cameras flashing like lightning, their microphones held out like hungry wolves. They shouted my name, hurling questions at me. Mr. Carter, is it true you're divorcing your wife over cilantro? Do you have a mistress? Is Lucas really your son? I ignored them all, my head held high, my face expressionless. I wore a tailored black suit, my hair neatly combed,